I think I want to ask you personally about that whole situation. What played out in your mind? What was the intention behind calling out the Philippines at the time, right? Because again, for people watching, I don't know if you watched the whole clip. It was clipped, right? So maybe you only watched the Arashi part.
Yeah.
But before that part, it was a segment with me, LaFell, and Wolf, where we were kind of bantering amongst the regions. LaFell wasn't bantering because, you know, he couldn't. but basically, that was the whole... that was the vision that was set by the producers. So if you guys don't know, that's how the creative things work. Okay, behind the scenes, the producers will ask us to do things like banter, trash talk, etc., and then we'll do it.
Right.
It's a creative decision.
Like fan the flames.
Exactly. So what was the perspective behind that call out, Arashi? Because what the people think instantly is like, oh, fuck this guy. He's calling Philippines trash. He's saying Indo is much better. He's saying Indo pride, even though Kyrie and Yeb is in the team. So it technically can't even be Indo pride. You fucking nerds, shit like that, right?
Right. So of course there was the whole banter. We're talking about, okay, you know, which region is better and whatever. Just opinions, right? We're not talking objective at that point. It was just a lot of opinions. And I recall the last statement from the panel was Wolf going, I think Indonesia is definitely more entertaining, but I think competitiveness is definitely in the Philippines. Well, the whole idea was that, you know, I can play devil's advocate because I do that a lot. I think Miko can testify, especially being on the desk with so many strong opinions, right? Usually I go like, hey, what about this? What about that, right? You know, this is possible. That is possible. Yeah. So I was thinking like, that's a good point. I mean, and by the way, see, I felt a lot of people on DMs. I never actually publicly made the statement, but I think it's fair to say that the vast majority of talents all know that the Philippines is the more competitive region. Yeah. Right? So if anyone thinks that I really don't think so, I'm that delusional. I do think so, right? That everyone knows that. And on Instagram, on the DMs, I've been very clear about that. Like, dude, like, I know. You know, it's no secret, right? It's not a weird opinion. No. So I was thinking like, all right, but what's the other viewpoint, right? How do we kind of like make this a bit of back and forth? So I said, while laughing, by the way, like, hey man, I mean, you know, you say competitive, but Onyx has been winning every single tournament. So hey, if you want to talk, you gotta beat Onyx. I'm pretty sure. I'm not that like old yet. I'm not senile yet. So I'm pretty sure when I said it, I was kind of like giggling a bit. Yeah, like, whoa, it was very over-exaggerated.
It was not the Arashi we usually see.
Yeah, out of nowhere, right? You know, I don't do a lot of, like, antics. Out of nowhere, like, whoa, come at us, bro! Indo pride! It's like, I thought, like, it's pretty obviously, like, you know, like a joke, because it's over-exaggerated. And on the desk, people weren't going, like, absolutely, bro. Yeah, Indonesia's gonna kill it.
Eternal
Gunny wasn't going, like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Where did this come from?
Yeah, exactly. You're actually saying this? What? And we were all laughing about it. It was meant to be a bit more of an ironic kind of deal.
Okay,
you know, it's like, oh, some fans, some Indonesians were like, no way, bro, Indonesia, all the time, every time, always. Yeah, and so I thought it was a bit of a funny joke, and no one reacted to it, by the way. And the initial broadcast, no one said anything. So I'm like, oh, I guess it's not as funny or whatever. And I think some of the talents noticed, and they were like, lol, dude, yeah. Like,
I legit came up to him after the broadcast. I was like, dude, I like that shit. Like, what the fuck?
Bold maneuver. Yeah, and then I believe it was like, what? It wasn't months. I think it was weeks. A few weeks after.
Wait. So I'll give you guys a bit more context as well to why maybe Arashi did that in my perspective. Because we've been saying, especially for casters, right? Finding your character is very, very important. And I think for the most part, Arashi's still kind of, back then was still struggling, maybe still struggling to this day to find that character, right? Well, what does he want to be on the desk? Like the villain, etc. Now, right now, he has a pretty good start to being the villain because, you know, well, actually, to be fair, it was true. What you were saying was true at the time. Like, so even if it was not a joke, it was not entirely wrong either, right? It just looked horrible because they uploaded it again, the Clippers uploaded it again after M5.
Right.
Which makes it seem like you said that after M5.
Well, see,
because back then, wait, they won MPL Season 11, they won MSC and Snapdragon, and that was against Filipino teams, that was against everybody, all the teams in the world, right?
Right, and the thing is, what makes a good joke, right? If the joke is obviously a joke, who's the guy that said it? a good joke shouldn't be the whole room laughing.
Okay.
A good joke should be like 50% of people laughing, 50% of the audience laughing, and 50% absolutely horrified or pissed off.
Okay.
Right? So that's...
You got the good 50% then. You got the... oh, actually, maybe in 70-80%.
Well, we got... The point is... the point is... Yeah, so which is why the joke needs to be like somewhat true, even though it's not like...
Not ultimately, like, not, it's not a fact, you know? It's just,
exactly.
It's an opinion, it could be subjective, it's ironic, right? It's hyperbole.
Yes.
Yeah, all of that.
So, back to the story, a few weeks after, even before M5, can you name drop the channel?
Yeah, sure.
Channel names and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, just confirming. So, Zekilled uploaded the clip, right? And it all began, I forgot when the clip started, but it really didn't show too much context. I think it just went straight from the end of the panel segment. So it just seems like there's nothing going on, and I just went, hey, by the way...
Out of nowhere.
I'm pretty sure that's how that's how the tone looked, right?
Yeah.
So when that uploaded, there were quite a few people just going on my DMs like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you say that, bro? That's unacceptable. Like that's a garbage take. But it was only a few people, so I'm like, well, okay, you know, there's always gonna be some crazy people, right? Like we're talking countries, your regions, right?
Yeah.
It's always gonna be crazy people. People getting really angry on Instagram. I don't know if you know this, but they're literally saying that, yeah, you've disrespected the whole country and you've been talking shit about the people. When? How? Right? If I said like, hey, Onyx has been winning, so you gotta beat them to like claim that you're better.
Yeah, to talk.
That doesn't mean that you're bad, right? The fact that you can possibly beat Onyx, right? It's a challenge to you. I thought meant that like, oh yeah, that's what you're good, right? The Philippines are actually good enough, you know? Because if I said like, hey man, Malaysia's gotta beat Onyx, right? I feel like some people would be like, why would you say that?
Why would you say Malaysia?
Exactly. Like there's no, it's not like a thing. There's no rivalry technically, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was very confused, and honestly, I mean, to some people, I even to a degree, I even apologize. Like, yo, if you felt that disrespected,
offended,
like that, you know. As if I insulted your family almost. Like I get that people are very passionate about Mobile Legends in the Philippines, and I think it's great. Yeah. So I, you know, except on an olive branch, like, yo, if you feel like I was being that disrespectful, like I'll apologize, because that wasn't the intention, right?
Yeah.
Because the way I see it, and I've always mentioned, is that in the end we're all fans, dude, right?
Yeah.
If Mobile Legends goes big, if there's good rivalry between the Philippines and in Indonesia, I mean, even the Malaysian fans will kind of like benefit off that situation, you know?
Yeah.
In the end, we're all like Mobile Legends people.
Exactly.
So I never meant anything to be that
disrespectful,
I mean,
offensive.
if some of you feel that strongly about it, I don't know why, but I extend an apology, I guess. But to all of you who are like fucking, literally, bro, come to the Philippines, I'll fucking like, you know, I'll put your face in dog shit on the ground, like,
I'll fucking kill you on sight.
dude, someone said they're gonna cut my head off and shit, like, yeah, like, I don't know, like,
yeah, the actual death threats.
they're saying all this shit with like poor grammar as well, and like, whoa, what's going on? Like, come on, guys, grow up, yeah. I don't know if grow up is even like the thing to say, because like,
Get smarter.
yeah, have some perspective, man. Like,
Yeah.
this, it ain't that serious. Like, this is not. I get it's heated, but like, really,
He didn't send missile strikes over to another country. He didn't.
No, exactly. I mean, it's not a real conflict. There's no actual like a battle going on. You shouldn't be talking about like, you know, lives and shit. You know,
That was.